Now at 5, a Fort Wayne police officer still in a hospital after helping pull 2 people from a burning house this weekend. We have new information on the domestic dispute that left 6 people hurt. Plus, presidential candidates making final pushes in Wisconsin before the state holds primary voting tomorrow. We have the latest from the campaign trail. And today is the last day to register to vote for Indiana's primary. We have what you need to know to make sure you're good to go to the polls next month. First at 5 starts now.
You're watching coverage you can count on. This is News Channel 15's First at 5.
Good evening. A Fort Wayne police officer is in a medically induced coma tonight. He responded to a domestic situation over the weekend that quickly spiraled out of control. As we first reported on First News Saturday, police say Justin Peace broke into a home, stabbed 2 people, and then set part of the house on fire. News Channel 15's Gina Glaros has been working this story today. She is live in our newsroom now with the latest. Gina?
That's right.
New tonight at 5, 6 Fort Wayne teenagers arrested during a traffic stop late last night in Plymouth. They range in age from 17 to 19. Investigators found counterfeit $100 bills, uncut copied bills, and a printer inside the vehicle. Rainesha Kazi faces charges of operating with a controlled substance and counterfeiting. Tristan Lacey also facing counterfeiting charges. Jalaisha McCaleb is charged with assisting a criminal and providing false information. Drake Wells charged with counterfeiting, and Terrell Smith is also accused of counterfeiting and providing false information. The 6th person inside the vehicle was a 17-year-old juvenile and not identified. 2 people suspected of robberies in Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan now under arrest. 29-year-old Nicole Collins and 32-year-old John Morgan were arrested today near Cincinnati during a traffic stop. The Steuben County Sheriff's Department sent out information about the couple this weekend because they're known to frequent that area. Morgan faces bank robbery and conspiracy to commit bank robbery charges. Collins is a suspected accomplice. Investigators still trying to figure out what caused a house fire early this morning. Around 4:10, crews were called to the 5400 block of Southbrook Road. That's just off Meadowbrook Road near St. Joe Center Road. The fire was under control in about 20 minutes. We're told a couple and a dog did get out safely. Fire investigators say the fire started in the living room, but no word on a cause just yet. Well, April is likely to be a pivotal month in the race for the White House. All of the 5 remaining presidential candidates believe they can win their party's nomination. The first contest this month in Wisconsin tomorrow will test the candidates' belief of winning the numbers of delegates needed. Craig Boswell is at the White House tonight with more. Clinton has a 10-point lead in New York in the CBS News Battleground Tracker poll. The Empire State has nearly 3 times as many delegates as Wisconsin. And if you want to vote in Indiana's primary on May 3rd, today is the last day to register. News Channel 15's Kaitor Pessoa has been gathering details on how you can still get on the list. Kaitor, how much time is left?
While the News Channel 15.
State Senator Jim Banks was recognized by the National Association for Gun Rights today. Banks was presented the .50 caliber Freedom Award by the group in Huntington this morning. The group honored him for defending firearms freedoms when they say those Second Amendment rights are under fire from legislators across the country. Boy, it's certainly been a cold start to April. Let's turn to Chief Meteorologist Nicholas Frey for a first check of the forecast.
How true, and there's really no end in sight in the near term. Our temperatures here.
Okay, thank you, Nicholas. A massive document leak out of Panama has revealed how world leaders and the rich may have been hiding billions of dollars. The leak is being called the Panama Papers. An anonymous source provided nearly 40 years worth of documents from a law firm in Panama named Mossack Fonseca. The firm helps establish offshore bank accounts. The leak reportedly contains about 11.5 million documents, including nearly 5 million internal emails, providing a window into some 214,000 companies. The Panama Papers are likely the biggest leak of inside information in history. 12 current or former heads of state named in the papers include the presidents of Ukraine and Argentina and the King of Saudi Arabia. The European Union started shipping Syrian refugees in Greece back to Turkey today. This comes 2 weeks after the European Union and Turkey reached an agreement on how to deal with the flood of refugees. The agreement stipulates that all migrants crossing into Greece from Turkey will be deported back to Turkey. And for every Syrian returned to Turkey from Greece, another Syrian will be resettled into the European Union. The deal is extremely controversial. Amnesty International is calling it a dangerous deal. Still to come on First at 5, it's spring break for a lot of you, but the weather can't seem to make up its mind. Is it winter or spring? Meteorologist Hannah Strong has some ideas for your spring break staycation. But first, here's your Bicentennial Minute.
This is News Channel 15's First at 5.
If you're looking for ways to keep the kids busy this week, look no further. News Channel 15's Hannah Strong has put together a few ideas to keep you out of the cold if you're spring breaking in the Summit City.
Hannah Strong, News Channel 15.
Yeah, certainly not typical spring break weather for our area.
No, you got it. The cold air has arrived today on the books. The high will go down as 56 degrees, but that high only a 40. Sunday, more rain possible then. Will rebound back to the 50s.
Yeah, definitely will need a jacket with the 10 caps.
Yes, do not put those away. And if you go to the 10 caps, jackets and blankets, that's what you're going to want for sure.
Bundle up baseball. Thank you, Nicholas. Coming up tonight at 6, the Tin Caps back in town and gearing up for the new season. Glenn Marini caught up with the team today at Parkview Field. But first, a new study shows therapy for men that can cut the risk of strokes, heart attacks, even death. We'll tell you what the study found next.
Continues. This is News Channel 15's First at 5.
British researchers found a new use for Botox. That tops tonight's stories for your well-being. They say it can help people with knee pain, especially runners. Patients say just one injection is getting them back on track. Botox is often used to relieve wrinkles, and researchers say it also relaxes injured muscles associated with LPOS. That's a common injury impacting the muscle around the knee and thigh. 1 in 8 runners have it, and as of now, those treatment options are limited.
For many of those patients, it would have just been physiotherapy, more physiotherapy, and even more physiotherapy, and the surgical options were extremely limited.
Studies for the Botox injections are still underway, but British researchers say it could become available to the public in 2 years. Researchers at Johns Hopkins report early success in clinical trials with a new weight loss procedure for the obese. It's called bariatric arterial embolism. Doctors say the minimally invasive treatment helps with weight loss, hunger reduction, and keeping hunger hormones in check. New research in Utah finds elderly men may be able to cut their risk of stroke, heart attack, and even death with testosterone therapy. A study of close to 800 older male patients found those taking testosterone supplements had fewer cardiovascular events. Up next, Nicholas has one last check of your 7-day planner. Cold, rain, snow.
Yeah, happy April. That's what I say. It is something, and our weather continues to be quite interesting over the week ahead. Tonight, a few scattered snow showers and snow flurries out there, and we'll end up with a low of 25 by early tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow afternoon, 43. The sunshine reemerges, but by Wednesday, we'll lose that sun, and rain will be back, and it'll be windy, too. Wednesday's high, 54, and we're colder as the week continues.
Okay, thank you, Nicholas. And thank you for watching. We'll see you back here at 6. Now at 6, deadline day. If you want to vote in the May primary, you only have a few hours left to register.
A Fort Wayne police officer is still in the hospital tonight after responding to a domestic disturbance. We'll break down what happened over the weekend that left 6 people hurt.
There's no immediate end in sight to the cold April weather we've been experiencing. I'll have the latest live Doppler 15 Fury forecast.
And spring break bummer. What local students can do this week to pass the time despite the cold weather. News Channel 15 at 6 starts right now.
You're watching coverage you can count on. This is News Channel 15's News at 6.
Good evening to you. I'm Alyssa Ivanson. Heather and Brett have the night off. A Fort Wayne police officer is in a medically induced coma tonight after responding to a domestic situation over the weekend that quickly spiraled out of control. As we first reported on First News Saturday, police say Justin Pease broke into a home, stabbed 2 people, and then lit part of the house on fire. News Channel 15's Gina Glaros joins us live now from the corner of St. Mary's and Margaret Avenue where it all happened. Gina, what's the latest? 2 people and a dog escaped an early morning house fire. Flames broke out around 4 o'clock this morning in the 5400 block of Southbrook Road. That's on the city's northeast side. The fire under control in about 20 minutes. Investigators say the fire started in the living room, but still no word tonight on a cause. 6 Fort Wayne teens accused of making counterfeit cash. They were busted early yesterday in Plymouth on US 30. The driver, Rainesh Akazi, was arrested for operating a vehicle with a controlled substance. Police found numerous counterfeit $100 bills, including some bills that were uncut inside the car. A printer was also seized. Most of the teens are charged with counterfeiting. Each is facing a $5,000 cash bond. A juvenile was also taken into custody but was not identified. Police need your help tonight tracking down an accused stalker. Detectives in Grant County say 40-year-old Bradley DeLong is wanted on warrants for stalking. They would also like to question him in connection to other investigations. If you see this guy, take a good look. Call Crime Stoppers. That number is 765-662-TIPS. You could be eligible for a $1,000 cash reward. Certainly a cold start to April and some really weird weather over the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Nicholas Ferrari has more in our first forecast.
And April weather can be weird.
It is
That's
weird.
okay.
It's just
and
weird.
At times it is even amazing. We're tracking snow chances again in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Nicholas. Well, today is the last day to register to vote for the May 3rd Indiana primary. News Channel 15's Kaitor Pessoa has been gathering details on how you still can get in and register. He's live in Studio 15 with how much time is left. Kaitor?
While the in 15.
And News Channel 15 is your place for continuing coverage on the May primary. You can always find more information on our website, wayne.com, including a link where you can register to vote. New information tonight on the local pain doctor accused of over-prescribing painkillers. Dr. Michael Cozy's office will be open 3 days this week. According to the Department of Health, Cozy's office will be open on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays from 8 to 4 for the foreseeable future. Former patients can come in to retrieve their medical records during those times. Cozy's license has been suspended for 90 days. Helping LGBT students improve their physical and mental health. That's the focus of a 2-day conference this week at IPFW. Organizers say they'll explore the physical and emotional challenges faced by lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender students. Some of the workshops will focus on HIV prevention and increasing family support. The program starts Friday. It is free and open to everyone. A man running for Indiana's 3rd Congressional District is getting support from a gun rights group. Senator Jim Banks was recognized today by the National Association for Gun Rights. Banks received the .50 caliber Freedom Award. He says he's always been a staunch supporter of Second Amendment rights.
When we pass laws that infringe upon that right, we're only punishing those who lawfully own a gun in the first place. So I will always be a defender and protector of those who lawfully own a gun and protection of our Second Amendment rights, and have been proud to defend those rights at the State House, and I'll be proud to defend them in the nation's capital as well.
Banks is running for Indiana's 3rd district, currently held by Marlin Stutzman. Stutzman is stepping down to run for U.S. Senate. Much more to come on News Channel 15 at 6. Thousands of Aqua Indiana customers outraged about a proposed rate hike. Find out how you can make your voice heard on the issue. Plus,
I'll show you some fun things to do around the city on this cold spring break.
Coverage you can count on continues. This is News Channel 15's News at 6.
thousands of Aqua Indiana customers are being asked for their input over a proposed rate hike. About 13,000 customers had an extra charge on their bills because of a software issue dating back to last year. The company's president says when Aqua was transitioning to the city of Fort Wayne's billing system, some Aqua accounts got behind. Customers have until June 17th to comment on the proposed 29.8% rate hike. For more information on how you can make your voice heard, just head over to wayne.com. Well, the calendar says spring, but it feels a lot more like winter. And if you're spending spring break in the Summit City, it's easy to run out of things to do. News Channel 15's Hannah Strong put together some ideas, though, to keep everyone entertained, and they're all kid approved.
Many schools are Channel 15.
Not quite the same as a pool, but you could jump in some puddles maybe later this week.
That's right.
Just kind of splashing around.
Just turn out your bathtub, a nice warm
There you
bath.
go.
That's all you need. Imagine yourself on the sunny shores
Yes.
of the southern U.S.
There you go.
The warm air not here. It's cold again today with temperatures head out.
Yeah, definitely chilly for baseball, but at least right now, let's hope it stays dry.
Yes, I see no problems
Right.
there. I'm pretty
That's good.
confident in a dry opener for them.
Okay, that's better than nothing.
You got it.
Thanks, Nicholas. Glenn here with sports, and actually Comets wrapping up their regular season.
That's right. Only 3 more games left in the regular season before we have playoff hockey here in Fort Wayne. Coming up after the break, we're going to go inside the zone with our buddy Blake.
Wednesday afternoon, 54 will be the high. Colder after that as we close out the week.
Okay, thank you, Nicholas, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great night. We'll see you at 11. Now on Nightcast, time's a ticking. Indiana's presidential primary could be one of the most exciting in decades, and if you want to be a part of it, you better act now. Periods for Pence. A grassroots Facebook page is quickly growing with the goal of describing that time of the month to Governor Pence and one local lawmaker. Find out why they are being targeted. And basketball swami. One Indiana teen admittedly knows nothing about the game, but she's nearly pulled off the impossible, a perfect NCAA bracket. Nightcast starts now.
You're watching coverage you can count on. This is News Channel 15's Nightcast.
Good evening to you, and thank you for joining us. I'm Alyssa Ivanson. Heather and Brett have the night off. Time is almost up. The window to register to vote in the May primary closes in just 1 hour. News Channel 15's Holly Campbell joins us live in our newsroom tonight with what you need to know to get registered in time. Holly?
News Channel 15.
While voters prepare to cast their ballot, the 2016 presidential campaign is starting to come to Indiana. Hillary Clinton announced over the weekend that she's opening an Indiana headquarters in Indianapolis tomorrow. Bernie Sanders' campaign, which has an office in Fort Wayne, is expected to open a headquarters in Indy sometime soon as well. Over on the Republican side, Donald Trump plans to reveal his Indiana team later this week. Cruz and Kasich currently are working on their plans for Indiana, but don't have any official offices as of yet. Well, State Senator Jim Banks is picking up an award most Second Amendment supporters would be proud of. Banks was presented with the 50 Caliber Freedom Award in Huntington this morning. The award, which is given by the NRA, honors lawmakers and individuals who protect Second Amendment rights. A Facebook group known as Periods for Pence is expanding, and it has a Fort Wayne lawmaker in its crosshairs. Last week, we told you about the group, which encourages women to call the governor's office and describe their monthly cycle. The group's organizers say it's a way to protest against the new abortion law, which prohibits abortions on the basis of race or sex of a fetus or a potential disability. Now the group is asking its members to call Fort Wayne Representative Casey Cox. Cox was one of the bill's original authors. At last check, the Periods for Pence Facebook site had more than 17,000 likes. A Fort Wayne police officer is in a medically induced coma tonight after responding to a domestic dispute over the weekend. Police say the suspect, Justin Pease, went to a home on St. Mary's Avenue early Saturday morning. He broke in, threatening to kill his ex-girlfriend, and stabbed 2 people. He then locked himself in an upstairs bedroom and set it on fire. Now, 3 police officers rescued 1 victim and then busted down the door to that burning bedroom to get Pease out. Pease is in critical condition in a hospital, a result of smoke inhalation, a self-inflicted stab wound, and an injury to his head from a victim. All 3 police officers had smoke inhalation. 2 of them are okay, but 1 is still in serious condition.
We hope for full recovery, which, I think will probably happen, but still he's going through a tough time, and his family is too, so you keep him on our thoughts.
Other people inside the home, including children, were able to get out safely. Rusty York says Pease will likely now face several felony charges. 6 Fort Wayne teens are facing federal charges after being accused of making counterfeit money. Early yesterday morning, police pulled over a vehicle for speeding on US 30 in Plymouth. After searching the car, officers discovered several counterfeit $100 bills, including some that were still uncut. Now, the teens range in age from 17 to 19. 4 of them face counterfeiting charges. The 6th person inside the vehicle was a 17-year-old juvenile and is not being identified. The Noble County Sheriff's Department is asking for your help tonight in finding a Kendallville man who went missing 2 weeks ago. Investigators say 29-year-old Rex Rossman left his home for an unknown reason, and his family has not heard from him since. This is a picture of him. Take a look. Police also have no idea where Rossman might have been going. If you have any information that might help, call the Noble County Sheriff's Department. Well, the health department is releasing new information for Michael Cozy's patients. He's the local pain doctor who had his license temporarily suspended after being accused of overprescribing painkillers. The health department says Dr. Cozy's office will be staffed on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 8 to 4. During those times, patients can come in and pick up their medical records. Cozy's license has been suspended for 90 days, and he is currently under investigation by the DEA. Well, for those of us who are not hitting the beaches for spring break, we are stuck with some below average temperatures. Meteorologist Nicholas Ferrari has our first forecast.
And even some snowflakes, too.
Oh,
They've
man.
been flying out there on and off through the evening in many spots. 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Nicholas. Now, think back to a few weeks ago when you filled out what you thought was the perfect NCAA bracket. Then they played the games and you realized you don't know anything about basketball. Well, meet 17-year-old Rebecca Gentry of Jasper, Indiana. It's irrefutable. She is one of the best, if not the best, bracket in the country. So far, she's only missed 3 games, but it wasn't because she has some great skill. Nope. She says she simply just picked schools at random. In fact, she says she knows so little about basketball that when she started hearing about everyone else's bracket, she thought she had done something wrong.
So how many mistakes do you got? And everybody was telling like 25, 30. I'm like, oh my God, did I really screw up? Did I do this bracket wrong? Should there be more mistakes?
Oh my goodness. Unfortunately, Gentry's bracket is not in some fancy contest. Instead, it's simply one run by her teacher. She'll just get some free donuts as the top prize. Next year, she says she does not plan to fill out a bracket because she still doesn't know what she's doing. Buy a lottery ticket or something. Pick those Powerball numbers. Well, still ahead, scientists issue a new warning about global warming. Hear what they are saying and why it could cost some people their lives. Plus, where does Vladimir Putin stash his billions? A new leaked document is showing how world leaders hide their money. Those stories and much more are new for you coming up after the break.
Teens Nightcast.
Welcome back. A massive document leak out of Panama has revealed how world leaders and the rich and powerful may be hiding billions of dollars. The so-called Panama Papers are already being dubbed the WikiLeaks of the mega rich. CBS's Don Dahler reports tonight from New York. Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump has a message for his opponent, John Kasich. Get out of my way. Over the weekend, Trump made repeated calls for Kasich to drop out of the race, saying it's time for voters to unite behind one candidate. Today, Kasich spoke at Hofstra University, telling a crowd there that Trump is simply whining. He went on to say that his campaign is slowly winning over voters who are looking for a candidate with real solutions. 2 people are dead and 32 more injured after an Amtrak train slammed into a construction backhoe in Georgia early yesterday morning. Federal investigators are still trying to figure out why the equipment was left on the tracks, but they do know it was being used to do maintenance work on the rails. Yesterday's accident comes less than a year after 8 people were killed and more than 200 hurt when an Amtrak train derailed in Philadelphia. The cause of that crash is still under investigation, although investigators have said speed was a factor. It's a big-time merger that's shaking up the airline industry. Alaska Air is in the final stages of buying Virgin America for more than $2 billion. The acquisition would be another step in the consolidation of the airline business. Alaska Air is already the 8th largest airline in the nation. Virgin America is a growing airline whose profit increased by 600% in the last quarter. At least 40 people took to the streets of downtown Memphis today to remember the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. 48 years ago today, the civil rights icon was gunned down at the Lorraine Motel. King was rushed to the hospital and pronounced dead about an hour later. He was 39 years old. Riots erupted in more than 100 cities around the U.S. in the days after his death. A small-time criminal named James Earl Ray pleaded guilty to Dr. King's murder in 1969, but later recanted his confession. The world is getting warmer, and a new study is showing just how bad things are getting. According to a new report, the summer heat in the U.S. could kill as many as 11,000 people by the year 2030. By the year 2100, that number jumps to 27,000. The report also says people should expect air pollution and airborne allergens to increase in the coming years, worsening allergy and asthma conditions. President Obama says the assessment reinforces that climate change is a significant threat to the health of the American people, not just in the future, but right now. We certainly are not having abnormally warm weather.
No,
right
well,
now.
we have gone the other direction here with a cold start to the month of April here. On the books, today goes down with the high in the picture. Saturday, 40 degrees, a cold opener for the tin caps.
Yeah, and after all that rain, people are going to have to circumnavigate some puddles out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, all right. Thank you very much.
So goes spring.
I guess so. Thank you, Nicholas. Well, check this out. A New Orleans man has a sweet tooth that could land him in prison for the rest of his life. 34-year-old Jacobia Grimes was arrested back in December for stuffing $31 of candy bars into his pants at a Dollar General store. A store employee saw the whole thing, called police, and he was arrested. Well, the problem is Grimes has multiple offenses, which makes him eligible for Louisiana's tough habitual offender law that carries a possible sentence of 20 years to life behind bars. Grimes is expected to be back in court next month. A Streetcar Named Desire is one of Hollywood's most iconic movies. In it, Marlon Brando screams Stella. It's a scene that's become so famous, a literary festival in New Orleans over the weekend featured dozens of people who tried to replicate it. This year's winner was Joel Darby, but from what I hear, Glenn Marini might give him a run for his money.
That isn't true. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. No Tennessee Williams on the 11 o'clock news. Eugene O'Neill, maybe. Andrew Lloyd Webber, maybe. Never Tennessee Williams at 11 o'clock.
Not quite the same as Marlon Brando, though. I mean, hubba hubba, right?
No. Well, let's not go there. Let's go inside the zone, but just hit a three-pointer to win it in a very exciting national championship game. Congratulations to the Wildcats. I'm sure they're watching.
Oh, yeah. And there are a lot of disappointed North Carolina fans, I think, right now.
I don't think a lot of people would have picked Villanova at the beginning of the tournament. They're pretty good. They win by 44 in the Final Four against Oklahoma, a deserving champion, to beat a team like North Carolina and do it at the buzzer.
Absolutely. They get ice cream cake to celebrate, I say.
Carvel. That's the best.
Only way to go.
Baskin-Robbins pretty good, too.
That's true. Thank you, Glenn. And Nicholas has one more check of your forecast up next.
I see plenty of rainy periods, especially during Wednesday afternoon.
Okay, thank you, Nicholas. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.